Right, so according to last video here, we prompted the user to enter a value, and that value was assigned to variable num1, right? And we did the same thing for num2, and in all the cases, we were changing the data type. Was that each time you prompt a user to enter something using the input function, it gives you a string. So we have to change from string to int type. So this is how you perform the typecasting. You write the data type, then in the brackets you write whatever variable, whatever value that you want to write. Right. So Panapa, I was explaining when you want to print a set of strings combined with variables, this is how you do it. Right? /n is an escape sequence, right? New line character. If you want to write this in another line, right? So it creates another line, which means this is the first line. Take on the rows and it in another row. It makes it easier for you guys to understand. Then the numbers end at R, right? Which is here. The numbers end at R. Then comma. Then the variable for the first number. Then after end, we want to write end so that end appears between num1 and num2, so it has to be a string, right? Then the second number, which is num2, so 3 and 4, right? So now what we want to do, we want to swap the numbers, right? We want to swap the numbers, so we create a tuple, right? We create a tuple for assignment, which is this one, and so num2 is now going to be assigned to num1, and num1, the value which is in num1 is now going to be assigned to the value which is in num2. So at the end of the day, num1 becomes 4, num2 becomes 3. This is a perfect example of swapping. Swapping. So what I want you guys to do is you need to exercise. Some people were asking, my questions are the questions are like this. These are multiple choice questions. For example, we've got a program, maybe A is equals to 5. Then A plus 2.7. A at 2.7. Then if you do this, what is going to be your output when you print A? Is A going to be 5 plus 2.7, which is 7.7? Or it is going to remain as 5, which is none of the above, or an exception is going to be raised. You should know these things, because these are the type of questions that I am going to be giving you, right? Even for your in-class tests, you receive you get these types of questions. So you need to hit the ground running. You need to test yourself, and examine yourself. Test questions, which are not all these things. And float and it touched on data type was what all these things. Even we did this, and what A is now being assigned, 2 is assigned to A, 5 is assigned to B. B is now being assigned to A, which means A becomes 5 and B becomes what? Becomes 2. AB. What's the answer? You won't know what's the answer. You have done. So you have to exercise, practice these questions. So we are done with write a program to swap numbers. We have done the program to swap numbers. Ask the user to enter coordinates of a point and find the distance of the point from the origin. You know the mathematics behind this thing. You know Matapos. How are you going to do it? Right. So this is how you do it. Next, we want to look at before we look at conditional statements, we want to look at dictionaries. We are going to conclude my data type say do need dictionaries. Then we know unit 1 is done. Unit 2 we are just going to rush because we are looking at my control structures, my if statements and looping, all that easy stuff. It's going to be easy for you. So my dictionaries we are going to rush because most of the things are similar. So dictionaries are they are also referred to as containers. They are container types. Containers are other built-in data types. At the same time, they are also sequences. But my dictionaries, they've key value attributes. Guaranteed key value attributes. It means like this dictionary. So the first thing that you write is the key, and then you separate with a full colon. You write the value that corresponds to the key. So to put name is Gulo. Then age is 43. So the first item is the key. Then the next item is the value. Then you separate these groups with a comma. Saga comma turns out this is the first group, the key and the value. Got comma. Next group, which is the key and value, right? And these are unordered set of keys and value. They are not ordered. Another example, a code is monocode maker. We are not going to write code together for this. For example, one key full and value is 1, key bar and value is 2. If you want to print a bar, and bar to print the key, I mean value. Key is bar and the value is 2. And you can also create an empty dictionary like this. All this right. And then we also have my functions. My keys a dictionary. I want you guys to go into this one. I'm not going to spoon feed. And go and practice. Exercise. Now you know. Exercise all this. Modifying dictionaries. Go and practice all this. Go and practice all this. Practice. We covered the deal. It's the same, Shanda, the same thing, the same way. So go and practice. Go and practice file type and start it. Go and practice with dictionaries. Practice. And let me just check. Do we have a dedicated topic? Dictionaries. Dictionaries. So next videos we're going to be covering conditional statements and looping. Conditional statements and looping. These are conditional statements and looping. That's what we're going to be covering. So let's call it a day today. Go and enjoy your weekend.